Before I want to start this speech, I want to ask you all a question. The question is, how many of you are currently facing adversity? Maybe some of you raised your hand. Maybe some of you didn't, and that's okay. I know some of you have been through some tough stuff, and maybe many of you are in the midst of your biggest obstacles, or maybe even a mental breakdown. Okay, let's face it. Nobody remains unscathed by adversities. You can take that adversity where Samath had to screen share, but he took a long time actually trying to get through. But it's okay, we got through it. So psychologists have proposed something called the just world hypothesis, the cognitive bias that assumes people get whatever they deserve. But we all know that isn't true. Good things aren't handed to us on silver platters. People like us still face adversity. Now, the real question becomes, do you face it or do you give in? So you may believe the celebrities you look up to, the ones you admire with respect and reverence, are role models who remain untouched by adversity. But that's simply untrue. Because the strongest people are the ones who've fallen apart, but they got up anyways. They defied adversity, and that's why they became great. To help you understand this, let's picture a life where every footstep is a walk in the storm. The rain soaks through, the wind pushes back, and the path ahead seems blurry. You might ask yourself, how do I defy this adversity? I'll answer that question really simply. You just continue walking. Because staying one place is not facing adversity. That is ignoring it. You get stuck in that infinitude of time. You become lost. But if you keep walking, you slowly begin to understand that adversity is part of the human experience. It is something none of us are immune to. Only then can you begin to build a life that moves forward. So when I was 12, one of my closest childhood friends was diagnosed with brain cancer. I didn't know what brain cancer meant at that time. The only thing I knew was that it was serious and fast. So over the weeks that followed, my family and I visited him often in the hospital, but nothing about it ever felt normal. I stood by his bed, feeling helpless. I wanted to fix it, to make him better, to take away the pain. But I couldn't. And then it happened. He passed away. I was 12 years old, and I had lost one of my best friends. I was mired in pain and agony. I remember that time lying on the floor at home, just separating myself from everyone else. And I was like unable to stop crying. And I was like trapped in that inescapable room of grief, depression, and sorrow. And it was that moment, that grief, that pain. Something clicked. I realized something. No one could take this pain away from me. No one could change what happened. If I wanted to keep living, if I wanted to build a meaningful life, I had to choose to move forward. Not forget, but move forward. So I got up, dried my eyes, and I took one small step. That experience, losing my friend, didn't just leave me with grief. It taught me what resilience really looks like. It taught me that life isn't always fair, and that heartbreak can hit when you least expect it. but it also taught me something else. Even in the worst moments, we still have a choice. Not a choice about what happens to us, but a choice in how we respond. That moment was the beginning of something in me. It didn't make me perfect. It didn't make the pain go away. But it planted the seed of strength, a quiet understanding that I could survive hard things and eventually maybe even grow out from them. So now the key question becomes, how do we defy adversity? What do we do when we are crushed, hopeless, or defeated? After losing my friend, I sought guidance from many experts on how to cope. And what is surprising is that they offered varied results. So I've summarized it into 5 steps. Step 1, accept and acknowledge your adversity. I know the adversities you are facing or have faced hurt. But remember one thing. We can't move forward if we're still stuck in denial. Let's face it, nobody can solve that adversity for you. Only you can. Acceptance isn't about giving up. It's about facing reality head on, no matter how painful. It's about saying, this is happening. I didn't choose it, but I'll choose how to respond. And now the second step, controlling your mind. Psychologists call it cognitive behavioral therapy, or CBT. It explains that your thoughts trigger your emotions trigger your actions, and your actions shape your outcome. So studies from Harvard and the APA found that CBT can reduce depression and anxiety by up to 70%, especially in young teens and adults. That proves how we really think does reshape how we live. So there's a quote, "Your mind is stronger than your body." And it's true, because when the body is weak, tired, or defeated, it's the mind that decides whether you get back up or stay down. Defying adversity isn't about physical strength. It's about mental resilience. And when we control our minds, we begin to see adversity differently, not as a painful reminder of what's beyond our reach, but as a challenge that leads to possibility. Step 3, connect with others. When we face adversity, it's natural to retreat and isolate ourselves. But the isolation can intensify guilt, shame, and fear, making us feel like a burden to others. The more we pull away, the heavier these feelings become, and the harder it is to see a way forward. It becomes a vicious cycle, one that can even make a small challenge feel so overwhelming. But connection is the antidote. Reaching out to friends, family, or supportive communities helps us feel seen, heard, and valued. Studies show that meaningful human connection not only boosts emotional well-being, but can also reduce stress and even improve physical health. Sharing your struggles, even in small ways, reminds you that you're not alone and that others care. Connecting with others also helps us reconnect with ourselves. It reminds us that we are still human, still capable, and still worthy. Vulnerability may feel uncomfortable, but it's a bridge from isolation to support, from despair to hope, and from self-doubt to resilience. Every step toward connection is a step towards reclaiming strength and moving forward. Step 4, take small, steady steps. In the middle of adversity, everything can feel overwhelming, right? The big picture is so blurry, and the future just seems out of reach. They're like problems outside of our control, like some disruptive behavior of others or the brain tumor my friend faced. Adversity is like climbing Mount Everest. You don't have to reach the summit in a single leap. You climb through thousands of small, steady steps. When we focus only on the giant leaps, we become discouraged, crushed by the pressure of unrealistic goals. But progress doesn't have to be massive, just consistent, step by step. You start building momentum, you feel more grounded, more grateful, more in control, and one day, without even realizing it, you've reached your summit. You defied your adversity, not all at once, but step by step. Step 5, reflect on the why and use it to do better. So after taking the previous 4 steps, there's one more thing we must do. Ask ourselves, why did this adversity happen? And how can I improve things so others, not just me, can also learn from it? Adversity has the power to make us dive deeper, to become more aware. Those who fail a test often become the best people to help others succeed. And that's how we learn from adversity and ensure it doesn't harm others in the future. And once you integrate these 5 steps, accepting adversity, controlling your mind, connecting with others, taking small steps, and reflecting on the why, they become part of your inner strength. So, in the face of adversity, remember this. It's not about avoiding the storm. It's about learning to dance in the rain. You have the power to accept what is. Control your mind, connect with others, take small steps, and use your experiences to grow stronger. I'll leave you with a quote from Nelson Mandela. The greatest glory in living lies not in never falling, but in rising every time we fall. Thank you.